Derick Dillard. Laura Edmondson.
From Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. It is Monday, May 10th. I am a dog mom and a mom of a boy. Boy mom, dog mom. Happy Mother's Day late to everyone that is a mother. Dogs, cats, or tiny little humans. We have some more updates on the Duggars, and Anna and her husband finally broke their silence about everything that's been going on with Josh. And Derick Dillard graduated from law school, and now Jim Bob Duggar is going to have to run for the hills. All right.
And so we've done over 200 shows, but we've just had to give a reputation to God, realize that there's going to be some people that love us, some people that don't agree with the direction we're headed.
So not everyone in this family has actually made public statements about Josh's arrest. There has not been a public denunciation from several of his siblings. I want to make note, John David has not said anything publicly. Anna Duggar has not said anything publicly. Joseph Duggar has not said anything publicly, nor has Josiah, nor has James, nor has Jason, and nor has Jeremiah or Jed. The only ones that have come out with statements thus far are Ginger, Jessa, Jill, and now Joy. So Joy took the longest time to say something. We remember Ginger said she was disgusted, disturbed. You've got Jessa, who was, sad to hear about what happened and wanted to find out the truth. Jill was very sad about what she's learning and also wanted to know what was going on, was very disturbed about the children that were involved. Derick Dillard said that they wanted that if this is true, they want the legal proceedings to go through and justice should be served. And Jessa was more just like, they were sad, pray for people kind of thing. Joy's statement is interesting because she did something and then she did something else. And this is what happened. So on Saturday night, Joanna went onto her Instagram and she shared a post. On the post, she was pretty clear, and I'll read you what she said. This is the first post. She said, "The recent accusations brought against Josh sadden us to our core. We have not wanted to be hasty in making any statements while we still are trying to process the news ourselves. We are especially heartbroken by the reality that there are children in the world being harmed and exploited. We ask for prayer for those involved, and it's our continued prayer that the truth regarding these accusations come to light through the federal court system." That one I thought was actually like a really good statement. Like they were the first of all of these to literally acknowledge that there were children harmed and exploited because of the accusations or indictment that the federal government has against Josh. And they announced in the bond hearing, Special Agent Jared Faulkner from the Department of Homeland Security said that the children were between 18 months and much of what was found on Josh's computer. So the young ages, I was happy to see Joanna really address that issue. And I thought, wow, that's a really good statement. But then again, she took it down. It was weird. Like she put that up and then she pulled it down and then she posted this. "The recent accusations brought against Josh sadden us to our core. We have not wanted to be hasty in making any statements while still trying to process the news ourselves. We are especially heartbroken by the reality that there are children in this world being harmed and exploited. We ask for prayer for all of those involved, and it is our continued prayer that the truth comes to light." Again, they took out the federal court system. So my question here was like, I wonder why they took out the federal court system. Like, did they want to just be more ambiguous? Did they not want to be as harsh? Because her first statement kind of felt to me like they were saying to them, like, we want the truth and it's going to the courts and we're going to let the courts handle this, which was a softer way of what Ginger said, which was a softer way of what Ginger said was that they wanted the full justice to be, Ginger didn't even say anything about the truth. Ginger was basically just like, we want this justice in the legal system, and we fully support the legal system here. And it felt like Joy was saying that and then took that back, which I don't know if Austin wanted something different. I don't know if Jim Bob was like in her ear trying to get her to pull it down. I have no idea, but they did remove that part. And so this is where we have two different statements. One is like, yes, we want to see what happens in the court. And one is just like, we just want the truth to come out. So maybe she just wants to be softer in how she approaches this. I'm not sure. Either way, Joy is one of Josh's victims. And the fact that she is saying that she wants justice in a way and acknowledging the kids in this is huge to me, because she was one of those kids. If you think back in time, like, she very well could have been a child in a video like that because of what happened to her. So I'm sure in a way this is very triggering to her, and I have a lot of empathy for her regarding that. And so I'm sure it's a lot to process for Joy. I'm sure it's a lot to process for all of the girls that Josh did these things to. And obviously with that, their reactions are going to be mixed. And for any family going through this, it's going to be jarring, shocking, and you really do have to sort of tease through whether or not you believe it to be, whether or not you don't believe it. It's a family that doesn't trust the government as it is, and is not taught to really critically think outside of the confines of their cult. And so, the fact that they are starting to do a little bit more critical thinking here, all of them, it gives me hope that maybe some of these girls will eventually sort of break free and realize that what happened to them is not okay, and that they can actually publicly say that. Like, it would be great healing for them to get to that point. So Joyanna makes her public statement. Now on to Derick Dillard. Over the weekend, Derick Dillard finally graduated from college. Actually, no, law school. And when I say finally, I actually mean like, I can't believe it happened this fast. And I actually was saying finally sarcastically, because I feel like he just started law school, and I feel like, wow, he's already done. But he did. He finished his law degree. And so he has a Juris Doctor now in law from the University of Arkansas. Over the weekend, Jill and Derick actually shared some photos of the graduation, and they actually did a swipe up to watch the graduation ceremony, to which I did. And you can see Derick walk across the stage here.
Derick Dillard. Laura Edmondson.
So obviously it's pretty exciting to have them graduating, right? On the day of her graduation, Jill wore a very cute red dress. It says, "Getting ready for graduation, so proud of my man." I loved that she wore a dress that had her knees exposed, and it was very form-fitting. Red is an expression, it's a passion, it's like a passionate color. And I feel like in a lot of ways, the color red is a visible protest to her family, because in the IBLP, when there's so many children, it is really hard for kids to have any sense of individuality, because they're taught not to think for themselves. They're taught not to have their own thoughts and opinions. They're taught not to disobey. They're not taught to have any sort of individuality. They're not taught to have any sort of sense of self beyond God and their parents and obedience. And so when a child actually takes control and has an identity and wants to have their own identity outside of that, I think it's so powerful. And I think of red as this color that is really signifying of a woman's passion, of emotion, of, this defying color, like, I'm me, this is my dress, hear me roar kind of thing. And in the history of cults, I think of the red dress in regards to Warren Jeff's FLDS, where they actually banned women from wearing red because of the alluring, sultry sort of feminism that goes along with the color red, little red dress. Like, it's always that idea of sexiness that goes with red. So I really like that she picked that color. But Warren Jeffs banned that color from his group, so women were not allowed to wear red. Consequently, when he was on trial, his star witness, Rebecca Musser, who testified against him, wore red to the courtroom every single day. She wrote about it in The Witness Wore Red, which you should check out if you want to. I think you can get it on Amazon. So I liked the powerful statement that Jill made with this red dress. I love that she's finding her individuality. And on Mother's Day, she just went silent. And Derick hasn't really said a whole lot on his Instagram either in the last few days, but he did share a photo on his Instagram the day before he graduated, which said this. My mom reminded me that it was exactly 10 years ago today that I graduated from OSU's School of Accounting, and tomorrow I will graduate from the University of Arkansas's School of Law. My mom was my biggest supporter during that time, and my wife has helped me make it through law school. I couldn't have done it without either of them, and they both continue to be my biggest supporters. Happy Mother's Day to Jill and my mom. This picture was taken after graduation ceremony outside of my house in Stillwater, Oklahoma. It was across from Whataburger, so my 4 roommates and I called it the Whata House. As I was wrapping up my time as the mascot Pistol Pete, I thought it was appropriate to take a picture wearing the 45-pound Pete head with my graduation gown. Derick has always been very outspoken that his mom was not the most traditional in the sense that she wasn't a stay-at-home mom. She had her master's degree. She really taught and informed him to go and seek higher education. She had a job outside of the home. And so I really liked that he had that nice things to say about his mom, and congratulations to Derick. I don't know what his plans are, but his next up, he has to pass the bar, and man, that's a big task. So one step down, the hardest step to go, making sure that you can pass the bar to become an attorney. Derick has not said what he wants to study with law, but he has expressed issues around child exploitation and, protecting children in entertainment and laws for children in entertainment. So perhaps he will move towards more social justice. It's hard. I should note that none of the Duggars, not a single one, wished Derick a happy graduation on his post on Instagram. Not a single one acknowledged Derick and this amazing step forward. And I think somewhere Jim Bob Duggar might be trembling, because now that Derick has a law degree, there's a lot of fear, I'm sure, from him that Derick will use these skills to potentially either help some of the kids that he still has under his control leave, or potentially bring litigation against him. So this is good news for Derick. It's really crappy that the Duggars don't actually acknowledge him, because this is such a tremendous event for him. But at the same time, secretly, I cannot wait to see what Derick does and if he will use this degree to help dismantle the Duggar empire and save some of his wife's siblings. Jill and Derick move towards their next step, and can I just say it's really exciting to see when a Duggar or anyone connected to the Duggar is celebrating a graduation from higher education. We just don't see this. On the Duggars, it's like, oh, they graduated high school and then babies, wedding, babies. Never anything about education. So I love it. I hope we see more of this. And a lot of you expressed in the comments that you hope that this will encourage Jill to go on and get a nursing degree and maybe become a certified nurse practitioner or a certified midwife, a certified nurse practitioner midwife, where she could work in a hospital. Jill has been and wanted to be a nurse her whole life, and so it would be amazing if they would be able to find the time for them to actually let Jill get educated. Now, it's a lot to establish a law career, and it'll be a lot of hours for Derick, so you'll have to just see how this goes. But what do you think about Joanna's statement, and what do you think about Jill's red dress and Derick's graduation? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.